What is up, Bomb Squad? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. Today we are going to have a little fun and do some engine assembly on that thing right over there. I've got a big box of BTR products that we can kind of open and go through, and I'll show you what we're going to be putting in the engine. But essentially, that is a 4-point grate from my boys over at War Performance. They helped my son Wes out, and it is going to go in the pacer back here. If you've been following along, I feel kind of worn out, like I've been doing a ton of stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't feel like I've done a ton of stuff, but I sat down and kind of took record of what we've been doing. So today, instead of cleaning the mess that I have in the garage, we are just going to ignore that, drop her down in low gear, assemble a motor, have a little fun, go over some parts, and we will spend the time doing that. So let's pull this thing out. We'll kind of go over what it is, what we're doing. If you are an engine builder and you actually know what you're doing, refrain from just being a keyboard warrior, because we're not doing anything properly today by any stretch. I'm just doing what I know works. And if it doesn't, it's a junkyard 4-point grate, and we've got plenty more of them hanging out on the shop floor over at War. So we don't really care. We're just here to have some fun and relax today. So let's dig this thing out. Let's look at parts. Let's enjoy ourselves a little. Let's dig into this box of goodies, but before we do, big shout out to War Performance. This is where I bought all of this stuff, and they are an authorized BTR dealer, so you can get your stuff through BTR. And big shout out to BTR. I like BTR products. They've treated me well. It is not a super budget option or anything, but you know you're getting good quality stuff that is going to work. So I highly recommend them. This thing is all BTR'd out. I have a truck Norris cam for that we still need to install at some point. And now we've got even more goodies for the pacer. So let's dig in, make a mess. We'll ignore the garage. It's already trashed. We'll get down to the meat and taters. So lifter trays. Even if you're doing an LS junkyard BS build, do yourself a favor and replace these, because if you put a cam in, you want to use these, because if your lifters twist, they get loose in here, they'll twist and explode, and they take your cam out. And that is evident from when we did Project Chernobyl with this. The motor actually didn't die from the hot air. The cam did from the lifter trays failing. And I did it twice because I'm an idiot and I didn't listen to the internet. And you guys were like, hey, replace those. And I was like, nope, it's not that. And then boom, it failed twice. So yes, replace those. Timing chain. Oil galley plug. This is essential. These things just take heat, and then they don't seal up, and this is the main passage for your oil feed, and you won't have oil pressure. Between this and the rear cover gasket, those things are really important. I think people skip that. And the cam plate, because all that seals up your oil. And oil passages. So Delphi LS7 lifters. Watched a podcast deal, and Brian Tooley was like, we pretty much put these in everything, and we spend them damn near to $8 grand. Never really had an issue. So instead of getting all the fancy lifters, these are easier to work with because the plunger height, right? I guess when you go real fast, you want like the low pump ones or all that stuff, or some people go solid and you guys are crazy. But these work just fine. They have enough travel that sizing your push rod isn't crazy, right? A standard push rod will kind of get it done. Speaking of that, I don't know if I have a push rod for this motor, which is kind of funny. I guess we'll look on the shelf, but anyway, if not, I will order those over warperformance.com. Valve springs, which we won't get to today. And then the camshaft. So I went on their website, we looked at all the goodies, and we went with the new BTR hot rod camshafts. I think this is like a new profile. Valve lift is a bit more than like your standard. They're usually around 6, so it's not that bad. But 217, 24X, and then at 50, so again, this is a 24X motor. It's old school, so 24X and 58X. And again, the 24X signifies that it has the cam pickup in the rear, as where this would still be fine with the 58 because you would bolt the gear on the front or whatever. So anyway, I digress from that. So this is supposed to make good power, have the chop we're looking for, and then life is good. And then in here, yeah, we got some head gaskets, right? So life is good. The only thing we're missing is push rods, but I can use, I think it's standard push rod with those. So even to get, it's easy to replace. So even to get going, I think I have standards laying around somewhere. We can still assemble this thing, fire it, and do all that. And then I can always get some nice push rods, which I would like to do later on. But I'll have to check on the shelf. This thing's been through so many iterations. I don't know. I may have some push rods laying around, or I probably just gave them away to somebody else. But that is that. And then we had another box that came in. If you guys watch this already, we're going to pull this out right now. That had, we did the cam bearings. So the boy and I knocked the cam bearings in. And then I have mains and rods, I believe, on my shelf of junk. Quit judging me. I know you're judging me. So we'll pull all that stuff off. And then the goal today is to just assemble at least the bottom end on that. So we'll beat you guys up with it. Kind of show you how we're going to go about it. And then you guys can yell at your screen and yell at the keyboard and the whole nine and say how we're doing it wrong. And you may be right. So I'm not even going to take that away from you. We may be doing it wrong. And we all won't know. We're all going to go through this together. And we'll fire it up and see if we have oil pressure. And if we do, and it doesn't heat itself in, like, I don't know, the first afternoon of running, maybe it's good. But we'll see. Let's put all the stuff back. Let's pull the turd out. Go get some bearings. And let's get some assembly
Just
going.
to recap real quick, if you didn't follow along and watch this, my son picked this magical gold color, and he rattle canned the block. We got everything cleaned up, obviously, before that. We slammed cam bearings in, and then this is just a stock truck cam I have as like a placeholder to twist it to make sure everything was nice. And then these are all the old mains and everything are still in here with the caps in order and all of that. So what we'll do now today is we will take all this off and we'll put the crankshaft in and then button that all down with new bearings. And then we'll flip it over and we will stuff the pistons in. Figured I'd show you guys this as well. So these are all the pistons we took out. And I did clean these. How well is questionable. I know you're going to probably say oven cleaner or whatever else to clean these. Mainly, oh, and they're labeled really well. My son and I labeled those perfectly. And mainly what I was looking for cleaning these is I just wanted the ring pack to be free and to move, right? Which this one doesn't seem to be all that friendly. Probably has some gunk stuck in there still. But I just wanted these to be free so we could rotate everything and get the gaps on opposite sides and make sure our oil rings aren't really baked in and that those gaps, you know, are opposite side as well. And from the factory, they probably obviously put them in properly, but taking them out and cleaning them and stuff, you move these all around. So like I said, I want to make sure they were free, that they moved, and then we could just rotate them to where they were going to live. And this is it. This was an afternoon of kind of just doing one of those and shining them up. Look at that gem. Make sure I didn't wash the labeling off, so we didn't wash them too good, right? We got to encrust we trust, as my boy Apple says. So that is it. That's as far as we were taking those. And then we will slam new rod bearings and we will put it all together. And we're not measuring squat. We will put it in. We'll do the rotation test and give it one of those, hopefully. It should all be stock bearings, by the way, so as long as you have the proper size bearing. Yeah, we're just going to slam it in and do that and have some fun. So, make life easy. Yeah, we'll have to kind of wipe all the slop up before we put her back together. So, fun fact on the old boom motor, my number 5 main was actually another number 1, and then they line honed it. It was a junkyard motor, and one of the cylinders was pretty beat up in that motor. So, life happens though, right? Okay. So that is this guy. Oh no, not on the gold paint, not on the gold paint. Whew, good thing the boy's not here to see that action. Let me get a pick and stuff and we'll kind of dig any of this little crud out, because this is all, look at that, it's pumping sludge into your main bearings. I love it. Same with this guy. So let me clean these guys up. We'll get the acetone, blow it all out, and then we'll put the new nice bearings in. So might as well give ourselves a chance for success. And then bring it back when we slam the old crank in. Got the new bearings in, And if it's your first time building a motor, there are 2 halves to each bearing. One half has holes, one half does not. So the half that I took out had the holes, so that's what went back in the block. And you need the holes because oil comes through here. On the bottom side, obviously the oil doesn't come through, so it just needs to spin around the bearing. So, and then I like to wipe the back side and clean everything in like acetone and even the new bearing, so it's a nice dry fit when it goes in on the back side, but you don't want it dry in here. So we will use this stuff because I got yelled at for using cheap stuff. So again, War Performance came through. Put a little bit of the jelly jam goop on here, and then I'll smear it around my finger before we throw the old crankaroo down. That way every surface of the bearing has some sort of protection on it, so when you start it up, it doesn't wad anything up. So there, jelly jam sauce down. We'll dig the crank out and kind of set it here and smear it around, and then plop her on home. There. So these ones actually need fluid on the side because it has the thrust bearing. A little love, a little more love. Gooey goodness going down. Oh yeah, drink up, little fella, drink up. Oh, that it's happy. It's a happy little crank. Okay. Feel good about that? Sure the internet's gonna love it. Steve Morris, eat your heart out. Here we go. This is the real world, baby. Straight to the garbage can. Okay. We're going to torque these in 3 easy steps. We're going to go 30 first, or 30 on all of them, and then we'll go closer to the torque spec on this, which is like, I think it'll be 52. So we'll go like 30, 40 something, and then we'll go 52 on all of them, and then I'll just come back and do the insides up to 60. And then there's a torque sequence pattern we're going to follow over there. If the old man can see it from here. And that is it. And then you have to rotate your size accordingly. So we're going to torque these in 3 easy steps. We're going to go 30 first, or 30 on all of them, and then we'll go closer to the torque spec on this, which is like, I think it'll be 52. So we'll go like 30, 40 something, and then we'll go 52 on all of them, and then I'll just come back and do the insides up to 60. And then there's a torque sequence pattern we're going to follow over there. If the old man can see it from here. And that is it. And then you have to rotate your size accordingly. So okay, now we will do the outside final torque, which is going to be 52. Fun, my lock is broken. So when we torque it, I can't hold the handle because it'll change the torque spec. So only quality work around here, boys. So we now have our crank installed. And then everything's torqued down. You can spin it by hand. I gave it the good juju, like so. And now we're gonna roll it over and stuff these next to cleanly piston and rod assembly, next to cleanly used piston and rod assemblies back in. The high horsepower Gen 4 version, free floating wrist pin, mind you. We're gonna flip it over, stuff those back in. Well, first we're gonna put the bearings on, and then we're gonna pop them back in. So I gotta find my handy dandy piston ring compressor, get that guy set up, and then I think we'll just do these one at a time. And kind of where you win at doing this, in my opinion, and again, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh man, I sprayed junk all over my car too. Terrible. Is slow and steady wins the race. Like, you're much better to like not just try to do everything. Like, just get one, do that from start to finish, clean it, do all your good stuff, and then pop, right? Instead of trying to do like, I cleaned all of these, I did all this, I did all that. I mean, I guess if you wanted to go through systematically and you had a bunch of room, you could clean all the hardware and do stuff like that. But like in this case, where's my hodgepodge, and I may have to stop and go get my kid or do whatever, I don't want to get way ahead of myself. So I'm just going to do one and then put it in. So I know if it makes it into here, once they're all in, then we'll torque it. But once it's in here, it should live there, right? So if it goes in there, it should be in there. And if it's not in there, it shouldn't be in there, if that makes sense. Piston number 1, right? I got my little spring compressor dude. She's all nice. These things are free. See, free enough, right? So you want to do like opposite ends, right? You don't want anything to line up. So we'll go this guy that side, this guy like this side, and then I want to find where my oil ring. So there's a gap here and a gap there, right? So none of these line up. So we'll kind of twist them off. Life is good there. So again, like I said, I just kind of, you can cruise around, do one dude at a time, make sure this is clean and dry before you pop the new hotness in there. Woo! Fits like a glove, right? Make sure these threads are good, they look good. Everybody's happy, nice. And then, like I said, we'll put a little dab of goop right under here, so we get a better torque. Alright, maybe a couple little dabbies. It's probably hard to see on the camera because it's hard to see in real life. So I got those dabs on there. I'm just leave that out like that. Right? So we got that guy. Take this side out. Clean it in my clean room. Oh yeah, that's nice. Work the stain out of it. Oh, that thing is ready to roll. Yeah, I think that'll go down, right? And then something like so. Except that was backwards, so it'll be like that. It's a cracked rod. So that's the nice thing about these cracked rods, is it's really hard to F up. And then even on here, it gives you a beveled edge on each side. Because like on the aftermarket ones, you'll have a flat side where it goes rod to rod, and then you'll have a beveled edge. So you can see how this is a nice and flat machine, and then this one's psh. So cool. So that is that. Now we just put the goop on it. And the other trick thing is we won't put it in wrong because we labeled it, so the number needs to face reading the proper direction, right? So that's another fail safe on the deal. And then also, we want to get the crank in the right spot. We'll go out and away. I think what we'll do too is we'll put some lube on the. I guess we don't have to lube the crank, right? We got bearings. Lube on here. We'll give her one more little. We'll slide her home. Oh, and this is my tappy guy. You need a tappy guy to make it happen. See, then our number one's up. You put the skirt in. All flush, and then you should just be able to tap her in. Keep it nice flush. If you do it well, that's it. No force, no nothing. And you have to take your time with this, because if you whack it and this thing's not up, a ring can poke out and then you'll bust the ring off. So that is that. And then you slide her on home. We'll put the cap on. So underneath here, you guys probably can't see. I guess we could do one of these, but you gotta guide this guy onto the crank. So you slide the piston down carefully. Line it up to the crank. And there's it. So it is on there. Slide this dude in. So we got plenty of contamination on the new bearing, which is always great. I think I just put more on there. Yeah, let's wipe that one off. She's like a little sus. And we'll put more sauce on it, right? Hopefully our fingers aren't as dirty when we do that this time. There, now we're good. And then this is a cracked rod, so it needs to mate properly. Which is that direction. I don't know if you guys can see it, but we got the crack basically goes away. And that is it. Now we'll just zip these down and kind of hand tight. Get them all in. We'll flip it over. And then we will torque all of these. Alright, this engine build just got interesting because the gardener showed up and I fear they're going to contaminate my clean room over here with the leaf blower. So we better step our game up. I got 2 pistons left. We're doing awesome. If I can slam these in, I'll close it up and we'll stick it in the garage and shut the door until they leave, and then we can torque stuff down. But they just rolled in, so we gotta get rolling, man. Our clean room is about to not be very clean anymore. Alright, we're gonna go 51 on our used torque to yield rod bolts. Figure I'll do it in a couple passes. We'll do we'll go 30, 40, and then 51. So we'll do all of them like 3 times. That should be that. Start from the front, move to the back. That's how we roll. Alright. Here we go, boys. Let's torque it up. So this is also a good opportunity to see on the cracks, just to make sure everything is flush and nice, that you nailed all of those. You should be able to see the crack in those. So let me torque the rest of these down. We'll finish it up. We'll bring it back for the last pull. Life's gonna be good, hopefully. Pull the last torque on the last one. Put the little ratchet guy on there. I can pretty well spin it without very much effort. You know, we have dry cylinders and we have all the lube in between everything. So, and we have brand new bearings. So, I am happy with that. I think we are good to go. Life is good. We have a short block. So we'll bag it up, flip it over, and then we will finish the rest of the assembly on the next episode. So I hope you guys are enjoying. We'll get this thing wrapped up, and then we got to start working on this thing, man. We got to clean it up. We got to do the engine bay. I'm going to have the boy rattle can all black, everything black, because it's all rusty and ugly, and I haven't touched this thing in a while, if you could tell. So
We got to get on it. Till next time, you guys know what to do. I'm out.
Rolling through the streets, yeah, I'm the king of the block. Got that dragon drive style, make your whole city rock. Malibu gangster, with a touch of finesse. I'm burning rubber, raising hell, feel the heat, no stress. Turbo LS, under the hood, I'm moving quick. Nicky tires grip the road, make them stick like a trick. She sloppy too, we got a hit in 08. In the war performance parts all over the place. The bomb squad's